Hey there! Welcome back to our CSS course's second project. This is just the first part of our website. In the next video, we'll work on creating the remaining sections, including the About section, Portfolio section, Services, Contact Me, and Footer. I'm super excited because today, in this video, we'll create a cool and attractive website. Let's check out the website we'll be building together. At the top, we have a navigation bar. When you hover over the links, a nice line appears smoothly underneath them. In the Hero section, you'll see a warm greeting saying, "Hello, I am Ian Khan." Below that, there's a big heading showing our skills: web development, designing, and marketing. We've added two buttons, one to download the CV and the other to contact us. These buttons have a neat hover effect and look nice with a little shadow. Towards the bottom, you'll find logos representing our skills. It shows what we're good at. The most exciting part is the animated image on the right side. Its border changes smoothly over time, giving it a cool effect. And the best part is, this website is completely responsive. When you make the screen smaller, the image and headings adjust automatically to fit nicely. The image shrinks smoothly, and so do the headings and buttons. The navigation bar also becomes responsive with a hamburger icon that changes to a cross icon when you click on it. It looks really nice on small screens. Overall, this website is a perfect blend of good looks and practicality, making it a pleasant experience for everyone, no matter what device they're using. Let's get started with creating this responsive animated website. I have an images folder containing various types of images that we will use on our site. Let's step back and open this folder using the VS Code editor. Within the folder, we will create two files, an HTML file named index.html and a CSS file named style.css. Next, let's open the HTML document and use an exclamation sign to quickly generate the starter code. Alright, inside the head tag, include a link tag that references the CSS file named style.css. This will effectively link our CSS to the HTML document. Let's modify the title of the website to Portfolio Website using HTML and CSS. Let's open the website using Live Server. Currently, our site is empty with no content. First of all, we'll add Font Awesome Icons link to our website. Go to Google and search for the Font Awesome CDN link. Click on this website. Copy the first link they provide. Now, return to your HTML file and find the head section. Add a link tag here and paste the copied Font Awesome link. This will allow us to use icons on our website. Next, let's add two Google fonts to our website. We'll use the one font for large headings and the second font for smaller text in our website. Go to Google and search for Google Fonts. Open this first website and search for Poppins font. Poppins is a widely used and popular font among developers. Click on it and select the styles and sizes you want for your text. Copy the code you can see here. Now, in your CSS file, paste the copied code. Next, go back to the Google Fonts site and search for Mulish font. Do the same process, select the styles and sizes, and copy the code. Paste the Mulish font code in your CSS file as well. We'll use the Poppins font for headings and the Mulish font for smaller text throughout our website. Come back to HTML. Let's make a header. Start by adding a div element with the class name container to create a section for our header. Inside the container div, create another div element with the class name navbar to hold the navigation elements. Within the navbar div, add a new div element with the class name logo. You can write your name here, example Aryan Khan, or use an image as your logo. Next, include a nav element with the class name WriteNav to define the navigation section. Inside the nav element, add an unordered list element with the class name NavLinks to create a list for our navigation links. Within the all element, add a li element to represent each navigation link. Inside li, take an anchor tag with the text home for the first link. Duplicate this line 4 times, changing the text and ref attribute to create links for about, portfolio, services, and contact. Open your CSS file. Reset all element margins and paddings to 0 using the asterisk selector and set the box sizing property to border box. Apply the Poppins font to all elements. This will give a consistent look and remove default spacing. Now, let's make variables for all the colors used throughout the website. To create a variable in CSS, use the root word with a colon. For example, BG color for a dark black color, and BG light for a light black color. Create a variable named text color to store the color value for headings. Create another variable named paracolor to store the color value for paragraph text. Now, let's create 3 shades of purple by defining variables like main color for the main shade, light color for a lighter shade, and extra light color for the lightest shade. Remember, it's best to use fewer colors for a clean and cohesive design. Now, let's set the page color. Use the body selector to target the whole page. Set the background color to var BG color. The var keyword represents the variable, and in this case, it's using the BG color variable you defined earlier. This will change the background color of your website to the color you specified in the BG color variable. Please add a comment here. Next, we'll proceed to write CSS for the header. Copy the class container from your HTML and paste it into your CSS file. Set the max width property to 1350 pixels to make the navbar take a width of 1350 pixels on the screen. Add margin auto to horizontally center the navbar. Set padding 0.75px to remove padding at the top and bottom and add 75 pixels of padding on the left and right. You can see, the header has 75 pixels padding from left and right. Now, come back to HTML. And copy the other class, which is navbar, and paste it into CSS. Use display flex to enable flexbox for the navbar. Set justify content space between to evenly distribute the elements within the navbar. Use align items center to vertically center the content within the navbar. Now, add some padding 20 pixels from the top and bottom and left-right 0. Let's check the output. Let's style logo. Select the navbar class and then the logo class to style the logo. Increase font size to 23 pixels. And font weight to 700 to make the logo bold. The color of the logo will be the same as the text color variable, which is white. Go to HTML, copy this class WriteNav, and paste it into CSS. Set flex 1 to make the links expand and fill the available space. Align the text to the right using text align right. This places the links on the right side of the navbar. Style unordered list and list items. So, select the UL tag. And give it display inline block to make the list items appear horizontally next to each other. Set list style to none to remove the default bullet points. Now, let's style list items li, select the list items and give them display inline block to align them horizontally. Set margin right to 20 pixels to create spacing between the list items. The position will be set to relative. Now, let's check the output to ensure everything looks good. The links will have a blue color and be underlined. So, let's fix it. To remove the underlines from the links, select the anchor tag, which is inside the NAV tag, then the UL tag, and then the LI tag. Set text decoration to none and the color will be the same as the text color variable, which is white. That's great. Our header is looking perfect. When I hover on links, its color is not changing, so let's change it on hovering. Add a hover effect to the links by copying the code and adding hover after the anchor tag. Remove the text decoration property. Change the color to the light color, which will be a different color when hovering over the links. Let's write CSS code for the hover effect to display an underline on the links. I'll add a comment to indicate this. Select the list items and use the hover word with a colon to target the links when you hover over them. Add an after pseudo element using the after keyword. For the after pseudo element, set the width to 100% and left to 0. This makes the line extend the full width of the link. To add underlines, I can select list items with the keyword after. Use content with empty double quotes to create the line. Apply pointer events, none, so that the link remains clickable even with the line in place. The bottom will be -2px. Left 50%. And position will be absolute. Make the line width 0. And height 2px. The color of the line can be set by background color of light color. Add a smooth animation to the line using transition timing function with specific values, example cubic Bezier, 0.25, 0.8, 0.25, 1. Transition duration of 400 milliseconds. And transition property set to width and left. Now, when we hover over the links, the line will appear with a smooth animation, which looks awesome. Above, I have added the position relative property to the list items. If I were to comment it out, the animation would not function properly. Therefore, it is crucial to include this positioning property for the animation to work as intended. Now, we will create a hero section. Come back to the HTML file after the navbar. Add a comment for the hero section. Add a div element with the class name hero. This will be the section where we'll add the hero content such as headings, buttons and image. Let's add content wrapper. Inside the hero div, add another div element with the class name content. Within the content div, create another div element with the class name hero main. Inside the hero main div, create another div with the class hero text. Inside this div, add a heading element h2. With the text hello, I am Ian Khan. This will be a small heading. After the h2 element, add another heading element h1 with the text web developer. Designer, marketing. This will be the main large-size headline showcasing the skills. Now, add a paragraph element with some dummy text. You can use this paragraph to provide additional information or a brief introduction. Now, it's time to add hero image. After the hero text div, create another div element with the class name hero image. This hero image div will hold the hero image. To add the image, use the img tag and set the src attribute to the image's file path, for example, images/heroimg.png. Also, use the alt attribute and write nan image inside it. This provides alternative text for screen readers or when the image cannot be displayed. Check the output, we have some headings and a big image of a man. Let's style this hero section. Now, copy the hero class and paste it in CSS file. Apply the following properties. Use display flex to enable the flexbox layout. Set align items center to vertically center the elements. Use flex wrap. Set justify content space around to add spacing. Add padding bottom 2.5 rem to create some space at the bottom of the hero section. Duplicate the above code. Come back to HTML and copy this class content and paste it here. Remove the FlexWrap property and add a height of 85 VH. Remove space between, right here center. And position will be relative. Copy the above code and paste it below. Go to the HTML file and copy the hero main class. Now, go back to your CSS file and change the name of the class to hero main. Remove the height property from here. Set the gap property to 5 rem to create a 5 rem space between the image and the text. Image and headings are arranged horizontally. But the size of the image is very large, we will reduce it later. Duplicate the above code. In your HTML file, copy the hero text class. Come back to the CSS file and paste the copied class. Remove these two properties. Also, remove this and apply the flex direction column property. By adding max width 50 rem, we can provide a width to the heading or text section on the left part of our layout. Due to image size, we can't see the width of the headings part. Now, we will style the heading and paragraph elements. Let's style the H2 element. Target the H2 tag and apply specific properties. We'll set the font size to 1.4 rem. Font weight to 600. And the color to a light shade. Size and color of the H2 element are changed. After that, we'll proceed to style the H1 tag. Copy the above code and it for H1. Increase the font size to 2.8 rem. Set the font weight to 700 for a bolder appearance. And make the text color white by using the text color variable. Additionally, we'll add a line height property with a value of 1.3 to create space between lines of text. To ensure proper spacing, we'll set the margin to 15 pixels for the top and bottom, and 0 for the left and right. Following the same style for the paragraph, we will copy the code and make adjustments. Change its size, weight, and color also. To change the font style, we'll add a different font family, such as Mulish or sans serif. Remove the margin from here. The paragraph element has been updated based on the CSS styling. Next, we will proceed to style the image. To style the image is placed within the hero section, specifically inside the hero image div element. We'll apply a 20 pixel margin to create top spacing. The image will have a fixed width and height of 370 pixels. Great news! Our website is looking fantastic, and the image size is just perfect. Centered using a background position of 50%. Additionally, a 3-pixel solid white border will be added with a custom shape defined by the border radius property. The values for the top left, top right, bottom left, and bottom right corners will be set to 60%, 40%, 30%, and 70%, respectively. The position will be relative. To add a soft glow effect around the image, we'll create a shadow using a blur radius of 35 pixels. The shadow will have a light purple color with an opacity of 0.67. An awesome shadow effect gracefully surrounds the image. Next, let's apply animation to the image's border. We'll use the keyframes rule and name the animation ONI123. The animation will have 3 keyframes at 0%, 50%, and 100%. We'll copy the border radius values from the original style and paste them into all 3 keyframes. However, we'll modify the values for the 50% keyframe to create a visual change in the middle of the animation. The animation will start from 0%. The animation will gradually move to the modified border radius values at 50%, and then revert to the original values at 100%. Currently, the animation is not working. To activate the animation, take the animation property in the image element and apply the ONI123. It lasts for 8 seconds and uses an ease-in-out timing function, providing a smooth looped animation with the infinite keyword. This animation gives a dynamic and eye-catching appearance to the image border. Great! I like this animation. Let's create 2 buttons in an HTML file. After a paragraph element, we'll add a div element with the class name buttons. Inside the div element, we'll have 2 button tags. The first button will have the class btn1 and will display the text download CV. The second button will have the class btn2 and will display the text contact me. Let's style these buttons. Copy this class and paste it into CSS. A margin of 20 pixels for the top and bottom. Next, we'll select the button elements and set the padding to 10 pixels for the top and bottom and 15 pixels for the left and right. The background color will be the main color, and we'll add a box shadow with 0px for the horizontal offset, 0px for the vertical offset, and 12 pixels for the blur radius using the black color, referred to as the main color. The text color will be white, and the cursor will change to a pointer. We'll also add a 2-pixel solid transparent border, making it not visible. There is no response when hovering over the button. Let's add a CSS rule to change its background color on hover. For the hover effect on the buttons, we'll apply a hover pseudo element on the button elements. When hovering over the buttons, the background will become transparent, and we'll add a 2-pixel solid border of the color purple, using the variable main color. When hovering over the buttons, the background change is too abrupt. To make it smoother, we can use the transition property in the main element. Let's set the transition duration to 0.3 seconds. Now, when we hover on the buttons, the color change will be more gradual and visually appealing. Now, let's focus on the second button and make it different from the first one. Let's add left and right margins to create spacing from the first button. The background of the second button will be transparent, and we'll apply a 2-pixel solid purple border. To create the hover effect for the second button, we'll copy the previous styles and add the hover keyword below. We'll remove the margin in the hover state, and the background color will change to the main color, while the border becomes transparent. Our buttons will have a smoother transition and a distinct style for the second button, making them visually appealing and amazing. Alright, let's add some logos at the bottom of the hero section to represent your skills, such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, and WordPress. We'll go back to the HTML file, right after the hero main div element. Here, create a div element with the class name skills. Inside this div, add a paragraph element with the text skills. After this, take another div with the class name logos. Inside this element, we'll use the ul tag. Within the ul tag, add 5 li tags, each containing an img tag with the respective paths for the logos. We'll copy the first li element and paste it 4 times, ensuring to change the image paths in the src attributes for each logo. Now, it's time to style these logos. Let's copy the skills class and paste it into the CSS file. First, reduce the size of the logos by selecting the img tag and adding a width of 35px and a height of auto. Also, set the cursor to pointer for interactivity. Copy the skills class and paste it here. To ensure that the text and logos are displayed horizontally, we'll use display, flex and align items, center. We'll also position it absolutely to place it at the bottom of the page by bottom 0. To align it on the left side, set the left value to 0. The color will be the same as the paragraph color. The text and logos are aligned in a horizontal line. Next, we'll style the paragraph element. Select the P tag and give it a right border of 2 pixels solid with the color of the text. Give it a paragraph color. Set the font family to Mulish, the font size to 20 pixels, and the font weight to 600. To add some spacing on the right side, we'll set a margin right of 6 rem. Finally, apply a padding right of 2 rem. Next, target the ul tag inside the skills class. Use display, flex to align all the logos horizontally and align items, center to center them vertically. To add some spacing between the logos, we'll use the gap property and set it to 3.5 rem. Remove the bullet points using list style, none. To create some space from the top, we'll apply a margin top of 12 pixels. The logos are perfectly positioned. That's the end of today's video. As you can observe, this website isn't responsive for smaller devices. In the next video, we'll focus on making it responsive, so be sure not to miss it. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon to receive updates on future videos.